Hey Dan, what's going on? Okay. Sorry, no cam today. My PS4 cam is in a weird spot. Okay, so... Well, I'm not playing the story, just to let you know. I'm playing Seasonal Adventure, which is just... Basically, all the areas are open to me, and I go around and do challenges and stuff, and all that jazz. Alrighty. So, I'm playing as the monk class. Okay. I'm playing as the monk, and basically the monk just wants to go face with physical attacks, and you want to make sure your hits are gaining you lots of health, and then your armor and stuff also. So like my equipment here as that plus 700 life per second. You want a lot of that, especially on like higher difficulties. So you want a lot of that on lots of your equipment. And then like 930 life per hit. So every time I hit an enemy, I get that much life back. And then monk, you want to focus on dexterity, because that's like physical. It's a different kind of physical. So basically, adventure mode, I can go through all the acts that you would have in a lot to think about. Lots of different builds you can do. There's other classes you can screw around with. But in the adventure mode, I can go through all these different acts that you would go through in order on the story mode, and then just like each area that you go to with the exclamation mark, you do a challenge, and you go back to the main town and get your reward. So New Tristram, or Tristam, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's kind of where everything starts, and I don't know, you encounter a fallen angel because he got kicked out of heaven for not agreeing with what was going on. Okay, so right now, this little dude right here is a goblin, and if you kill him, he drops a lot of like crazy rare stuff, or he has the chance to at least. But I'm not here to like kill the goblin, obviously. I'm here to kill whatever the bounty's for, which is that glowing chick right here. So you just kind of sit here and spam. Yeah. The higher the difficulty, the harder like these non-essential these small enemies hit you for, and it's ridiculous. Okay, so weird thing about each season, or each like season is different. And this season, that lightning you just saw, like, I don't know what the timing is. I don't know what the timing is on it, but every so often you'll have some environmental help. So that lightning is just like a streak of lightning that happens at a period of time, and it deals damage to the enemies facing in front of you, which is pretty crazy. And I don't know, there's like tornadoes, there's poison, and I just died. So when you die, you can either resurrect at the spot you died at, or go back to town, or the checkpoint, and every time you die, your equipment loses durability. And yeah, it's very chaotic. If you don't know what you're doing, and it's like this per se all the time, you'll die a lot. So I'm just gonna res back here. I don't really know how I died so quick. I think these guys just hit really hard, and I'm not really, I guess, paying attention, or not really sure. It all varies. Like, there's so many different abilities and by the health. Like the circle with the yellow stuff in it is your spirit energy that you use your abilities on. The red is your health, obviously, and the orange bar is your experience. Oh my gosh, these guys hit so hard. Not all your abilities use your energy. Each class has its own version of needed energy to use. I think the Demon Hunter class uses hatred. And then the Necromancer class uses blood, I think. I don't remember. Necromancer is a DLC character if you're interested in playing this game. But the Necromancer is the most broken class out of the entire game. You can pretty much start on a hard difficulty with not using a lot of equipment, because the abilities are just that crazy. Okay, so I killed the bounty mini boss, and then just to complete this thing, they want you to kill up to 100. Yeah, it's just normally in US dollars, the Necromancer is at like $15, but I happened to get it when it was on sale on the PS4 here. Okay, so lots of these enemies have static abilities that you kind of have to watch out for, like frozen, barrier, or wall. The electric orbs. The most annoying ones are arcane and frozen, which the frozen one is this. If you stay when it explodes, you just stay, you're frozen and you're vulnerable to more damage. Arcane is just like a beam of magic energy that hits you, and it's very... It can hurt. The monk doesn't have the greatest defense against magic or non-physical attacks. So I would say the monk is kind of a glass cannon build. Like, you're very, very powerful, but you can die easily. Yeah, this is just like a sample of what you're doing. There's some really crazy bosses that you have to deal with, and the higher the difficulty, the more insane they get, and and then if I were to kill that goblin, there's other versions of that goblin. Okay, I'm just gonna run out of here so I can... Also, you can't leave... Well, actually you can. You can attempt to leave when there's enemies nearby. So like that, they stop me from leaving. Oh my god. It's kind of annoying that the game makes you just gonna... Or there's platforms that let you just skip the waiting. So yeah, the max level on here is 70, and then everything after that becomes what is called the Paragon level. And then what's cool is if you have a bunch of Paragon levels and then you make a new character in the same season or the same story, basically, you can use those Paragon levels on your new character, but they have to be in the same like story mode season. You can't just make a new character and get free stuff, unfortunately. Cause I had a boss at my last job that played this with her husband, and she told me about Paragon points, and I was like, I don't know what Paragon is, and then I beat the game, and well, I mean, a game like this, I feel like you're bound to be terrible at the beginning. I think I was pretty terrible at it. I think I'm still kind of bad because I don't understand like the builds per se. I just kind of like guess what good equipment might be and what obvious equipment is trash. Season is dependent of the story mode. You can do seasonal story mode, which is playing through the season or playing through the story mode using the season, which the only difference is the season gives you like extra stuff. There's more drops. There's things going on that if I go here, you have this little journey of your season, and every time you do something, I think you get rewarded, but I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. So there's like challenges where you have to do all this stuff, and I think you get rewarded pretty much. but I don't remember. I just kind of do it because it's fun after you've played the story a few times, and the adventure mode is just, like I said, you can hop from act to act, and just you can do all the bounties and get more treasure, and you're faster to level up too the higher difficulty you are, because the more difficult the game is, the more experience and gold you get, and the better the drops. And then I think seasonal also just adds to that. So if you want, you can go through a season and max out your one character and then play it again while it's still running and use all the Paragon to buff out a new character to maybe do a harder difficulty. And the crazy part is so this isn't even like the highest difficulty. There's these strain of difficulties called Torment, and I guess it goes all the way up to 26. I don't even know. I haven't even like tried Torment. Oh yeah, and here's where doing this difficulty gives you 225% extra stuff, and you get better gems which you can equip to your armor and weapons, and they add extra bonuses and all that nonsense. And then the lower the difficulty, the lower the extra stuff. But I've been fine on Master. I first beat it on Expert. Just, I don't know. I guess I kind of like the difficulty. And then you have these random challenges. I don't really know what they do, to be honest. Like, I don't remember if you get stuff for doing them. It just kind of happens sometimes, and I'm like, okay. But yeah, there's monk, there's wizard, there's necromancer, which is the DLC. There's a barbarian, which is like your tanky class, I guess. And then there's the witch doctor, which is kind of I think the witch doctor is like the forest mage. Like, you can summon a bunch of tree monsters and other nonsense to follow you around. I saw someone playing as a witch doctor, and they were like maxed out, and they just running around having like their own little army helping them, and I guess it gets pretty crazy. This other guy is, during the game you can get different partners to follow you, or followers, and I like the Templar because he heals you and random times, and he's just a giant tank. But there's like the thief, the archer, and I guess there's a couple more you can have follow you, but I don't think I've ever like bothered to use anyone else. during the story mode. They just end up being NPCs that you have to help. And then they're like, oh, we can help you out for rescuing us, or something like that. Are followers like your preference? Oh. Wow, I just got really distracted. They're more preference. You can use any follower. I'm not gonna bother. You can use any follower, especially in seasonal adventure mode, because they're all the followers are available at the central hub area that you can just trade out. Honestly, I've never really used the other followers other than there was a witch that you can, or a mage, I guess. You can use the mage. She's okay, I guess. It's hard to tell if the followers that help you actually are doing anything sometimes. But that's just me. Obviously this guy has stats. He's doing 400 damage. You know, he's got all this armor and stuff and all this extra. He's got his own little class. But sometimes, I can't tell if he's doing anything, which is kind of annoying. So yeah, most of the time you're just sitting here, especially the harder the game is, you're just sitting here grinding it out for God knows how long. And maybe that's just my build. Maybe I don't know how to make my build efficiently yet, so I'm just kind of trying to figure it out as I keep playing. Yeah. Very exciting. Yeah, so I guess right now I'm just helping out this random miner dude, and I have to get through this. Oh, these little yellow orbs that pop out double your damage, and then every time you hit an enemy it spreads lightning damage to nearby enemies, which is pretty nifty. And then enemies also have the chance of dropping red orbs, which just heal you, which is useful. It's still useful even though maybe all your equipment gives you a bunch of life per second and per hit. Yeah, they're pretty annoying. They're living nests, basically. They don't do anything to you except spawn constant flying things. But I'm hoping eventually I get to a boss. Which I could just go to a boss. Some of the bosses are super grindy and really annoying. Like even the more beginning bosses on this difficulty are just kind of like, why are you so difficult?
I don't have enough spirit.
Yeah, so she just complained that I tried to use one of her abilities. That's a lack of the energy she uses, and then some abilities need to have a cooldown session before you can use them again, and she'll also let you know that she can't use them again. Which I guess is convenient. I'm not really sure. Maybe if you can't see well, it's good to have that audio cue.
Not enough spirit.
Also, you can just get in the habit of spamming buttons in this game. I've never really watched other people play this game, so I'm not 100% sure if what I do is efficient or not. I'm sure there's like a whole community of more of the competitive. I know there's Diablo 2 players that speedrun it and are really competitive. But I believe for the Diablo community in general, Diablo 3 was not a fan favorite. It didn't have the same vibe as Diablo 1 and 2 did. I don't know, I think it was just because it's too colorful, it's too bright for a game like Diablo. Kind of has that WoW feeling to it. But I mean, I personally enjoy it. Then again, I could be totally way off as far as like why people didn't like this game. Oh, really? That's... Oh yeah, I'm thrilled about Diablo 4. The storyline, so far what we know of the storyline is that Lilith, who I believe is the daughter of the main villain angel in this game. I'm not 100% sure on that lore, but she's like the new Diablo, essentially. I think Lilith is like a part of like actual demon lore. She's like the daughter of hell. But she's trying, she comes to New Tristram to do what Diablo failed to do. Which is bring about the end of the world. You know. But if you watch the trailer, I think I showed you the trailer, it's just like, it's so random how they come across. It's like your typical D&D group going treasure hunting, and then, you know, you guys come across just something you weren't prepared for, and everyone dies. Okay. So every time you level up in this game, you have the chance of learning a new... Well, I don't think it's a chance-based. I don't think it's chance-based. I think it's by level. So every so many levels, you can learn a new ability. So this thing I'm using is this Mystic Ally. It gives me like an extra little person to help me fight. This just does like a massive amount of punches really fast. This is like a shield that I can activate. This is a sprint. That is just like you can blind and stun your enemies, and this is just that giant electrical pillar that I was letting loose. And then these are your static abilities. Things are passive, I guess. And then this is a thing called the Kanai's Cube, that if you find it, you can take basically use it to absorb abilities out of other equipment and then add it to yours, I think. I don't remember exactly because I haven't used it that much. I just know it can be kind of busted. But yeah, once I finish with this, I'll have to go find a boss. I kind of wish the enemies were not so... there's a bunch of stuff. The enemies weren't so... what's the word? I don't even know what the word I'm trying to use. Resilient. There. Like, these small guys are so resilient for no reason. And it takes forever to do what you want to be doing. Oh, here we go. Just trying to get to the point of this. Kill the burrowing leapers. I don't even know what that is. Yeah, it's just because I'm on the master difficulty and I feel like in comparison to the difficulty and like what I'm doing. Oh. That always happens to me. I'm trying to think of words that I know and it's just like, okay. Let's go. Remember... Yeah, but it doesn't help that it seems like no matter how much you level up and no matter how good your gear is, you seem to always fall short. Oh my god. That's what makes this game go longer than maybe you want to play for, because like this guy, I would consider this guy so there's like tiers of bosses. There's like the main storyline boss, you know, that's in your typical RPG game. Oh my goodness. And then there's like mini bosses Okay, finally. There's like the main storyline boss, and then there's a mini boss, which is just a super hard enemy with its own special health bar and its own tier of difficulty. And then there's like the tiny bosses like that I was just fighting. They're like the gold, I guess they're called gold enemies or whatever. They have like a bunch of abilities, and they have unique names, and I guess there's only like 3 tiers of bosses. Okay, well, if you don't like spiders, this cave is full of spiders, and the boss is a giant spider queen, kind of like from Lord of the Rings. I feel like in Diablo 4, the game's going to be a lot darker than this, and it's going to be more graphic. Yeah, who knew you would have to fight against spiders, but I guess that's just your typical RPG game. I don't really remember the whole storyline behind this spider boss, other than you... Oh. Oh my goodness. Oh. See, I would consider this like a mini... like a super enemy. I guess not necessarily a boss, but they have their own name, and they have like more than one ability. They have the chance to drop a bunch of cool stuff, and
I must wait to use that ability.
oh my god. The poison in this game is ridiculous. Well, I'm glad the lightning atmosphere decided to show up, because that's always helpful. So I can never tell if it actually does anything sometimes. Like, the smaller enemies are obviously taking a lot. Yeah, this entire game can get pretty ridiculous. The later areas in the game are very cluster fuckery, if you will. Like, there's a whole war zone later on later in the game. That's what I'm trying to say. And then you end up going into heaven to stop Diablo from doing his thing, and then you have to stop the big bad angel guy from corrupting heaven. Honestly, I don't know why. I guess I haven't paid attention to the lore but I don't remember why we're trying to like intervene with heaven and hell and all that stuff. Like, I feel like if gods want to do some shenanigans like that, I feel like the best way to describe Diablo is like Super Constantine. Oh, here's another goblin. Just a treasure goblin, so. I don't know, your role in the whole Diablo world is just you're just a hero basically, and somehow it's your job to deal with all this shit. Like, okay. I kind of want the treasure goblin, but the treasure goblin's super resilient. He's kind of like his own level difficulty. Doesn't fight you obviously, but if you manage to kill him, he's got the chance to drop a lot. Okay, well, he also escaped, so that was kind of pointless. There's a lot of different goblins that can show up. Oh my goodness. And they all drop different things. There's a rainbow goblin that I think if you kill him, you have the chance of opening the portal to like another world, which is just like it's like the infamous Cal level that you may have heard of, but in Diablo 3 it's like completely different, and it's full of unicorns that you kill, and it's colorful and bright. Okay, so this is a boss. There's like phases, but all it really is at a certain point, the boss will leave, summon some minions, you kill the minions, and then the spider boss comes back, and you just do it all over again. And I feel like I'm not doing as much damage this time as I was last time, and I'm like maybe 3 levels higher. So I don't know what changed. It's probably his poison. I don't know. Okay, well, Spider's leaving, and now I have to deal with Small Fry. Well, how's it going for you, Dan? You and Emma back at it, or still taking hiatus? the poison. I don't understand. I don't feel like I'm doing as much damage. And this time I'm like, oh, and also, one thing to note, when you're fighting a boss, you cannot change abilities. And you can change weapons. Yeah, you can change weapons, but you can't change abilities mid-boss fight. I don't really understand why still, but I guess. Just kind of go with it. I don't know if that's worth it. More dexterity. Let's try this out, but I'm gonna be losing out on a bunch of health. Also, 1 second. Ugh. What is going on outside? How do you... Right. I don't know. Okay. I'm gonna try this helmet out because it adds more dexterity and armor. But I'm not. My strength is a little too crazy. I feel. Or no, that is. Right. No, that's right. But yeah, I'm gonna see if this. And I've realized it's kind of hard to like. Sometimes it's hard to pay attention to your health. Because you're just kind of like brain dead by this point. Like, oh, I died. I wasn't paying attention to my health. Paying too much attention to the enemy's health. Okay, I'm just gonna guess that I'm not doing as much damage to this boss in particular because of the ability that I put on for the punching. I'm not sure. Like, I can't even like access. Oh, it's a wind. It's a cold. It's wind, but it's cold. It's ice. Maybe she's resilient to those elements. I don't know. Man. I don't know, spiders, like, when I played this a couple days ago, I was like 50, it was the upper 50s, but I felt like I was doing more damage. So it's probably just I changed equipment and the abilities I'm using right now do not really cut it. That's what I'm saying. You have to kind of find a build that's consistent. Because I don't know why the spiders boss is like I'm doing a ton of damage, but it's taking forever. That's the one thing about this game that I have a hard time with is like my attention span is so bad these days. But, I have the ability to play Diablo for hours on end as opposed to, I don't know, some other game that I guess it's a benefit of games like this. So I can do this all day, even though it's kind of annoying. Oh. Alrighty. I think this is taking like 5 minutes. It's kind of like a really hard Dark Souls boss. Yeah, she must be resilient to ice and wind. I guess that makes sense. I'm not really sure. Because in Magic the Gathering, they have spiders the ability to like they have the reach ability, which you can block a flying creature. And they usually are really big when it comes to toughness. In retrospect, spiders, I guess, in general are tough. Okay, well, she dropped a legendary item, which is good. But it's not always good because then you get trash. Though the only upside of this is that it has way more dexterity, and I have the ability to crit. It is kind of relevant since I'm using cold moves. It's hard because that 700 life per second is really important. You know, but then again, if you're hitting hard enough and fast enough, it kind of just ends up being irrelevant if you gain a bunch of life. Oh my goodness. Do the cold moves have more impact? I don't know. I think it just depends on the enemy you're fighting. Wow. Some equipment's better than the legendary equipment. It all like I said, it all depends on your build. Like you have all these skills, right? And each skill has a different branch of type. So this is wind and it turns into cold. This is just normal physical damage, so there's no element to it. This is fire, or holy actually. This is fire, and this is just a weaker version of this. So it depends on what you want to do. Like the first time I was playing, I had a legendary two-handed weapon that went really good with this attack, which is just like a spinning move, basically, and so the weapon was doing most of the damage. But then you want to go this ability if you're like just punching. So I'm trying to just punch instead of using weapons. But it could be dangerous, you know, because I'm not relying on that life. But you do want a lot of dexterity with the monk, so you can do better damage. And I got a different weapon. So yeah, so I have 2 more bounties to do, and then I can go back to New Tristram and get a bunch of good stuff. So yeah, that's basically the entirety of seasonal adventure mode. Is you just go around doing a bunch of random crap. There's really no end to it because you never fully complete it. You can finish all the acts and do all the bounties and then come back tomorrow and do it all over again. And my only reason for that would be is if you end up making a new character and you want to, like if you end up with Paragon levels. Here's a goblin, a gem hoarder. So I'm guessing if I kill this goblin, it'll just drop a shit ton of gems, which it depends on if your equipment has what is called sockets, so you can. Okay, wow. Holy shit! I think I am doing more damage now that I've changed my setup. So yeah, if your weapons have something called sockets, you can equip gems to them. Whoa, it's pretty good. Though it does, yeah. They have a bunch of gems, and each gem does like adds extra percentage of certain things, and then you can go to the jeweler. I can't say that word. The guy that deals with the gems, you can have him level. Do you have a carry limit? In general, or in general, yeah, you do end up having like a limit of how much you can hold. I don't ever know when you can. Oh, I guess there's a number. So like below it says inventory 37 out of 60. I don't think you have. Oh, I guess the inventory number's there, so I suppose you do. I just have never, I never really noticed that gyms might have. I don't know. Yeah, I never really noticed until I looked just now. I guess I never have that many gyms. Yeah, I'm doing a lot more damage since I've changed up my equipment. But then again, these are just like small fry, so it's kind of hard to tell if I'm actually doing more damage, because they could just be like crappy enemies that die to pretty much everything. So I'm not sure how long they're planning on letting the season go. I feel like this season has been going on for a while now. Because I don't play for like a whole month or so, and I come back and it's still the same season. So kind of curious as to how they're going to transition into Diablo 4, because Diablo 4 is going to be multiplayer, and it's going to be open world multiplayer, so you can, like an MMO, you can see your friends playing and other random people, which is going to be really interesting. And you can like join. It's going to be like, yeah, it's going to be really huge that they are going to incorporate this. Like it's just going to be like a giant MMO version of Diablo, and it's insane. And you can join people on what they're going to be doing, and like I don't know how that's going to like what's it, Path of Exile. I don't know if you played Path of Exile, but it kind of reminds me of that. Because when you go play Path to Exile, you can see all the other people just standing around in the hub area. And it might be like that. Everyone's in the main like area, then you can just go off and do your own thing. But we'll see. Oh my goodness. I don't know.
It cannot be done.
It cannot be done. The monks, the female monk's accent makes me think she's from like Transylvania. But I'm not really sure where, like, what this world is based off of. If it's kind of a Transylvania type of world. You get a better feel for what the world looks. Whoa, okay. They kind of show New Tristram in the big cut scenes in between acts. And then the trailer for Diablo 4 really sets the tone for New Tristram. Okay, so now I've done that, I can go back to New Tristram and collect my stuff for completing all of that jazz, but my inventory is full now, I believe. Whoa. That's huge. I think I just keep the dexterity because I'm doing lots of damage now. I don't know, I'm kind of greedy right now with the damage. So here's a merchant. You can sell all your stuff. Or you can go store it. Or you can salvage it. To make stuff. To make like miscellaneous items that you can use to make new stuff. And then you can repair all your things. And then here's two of the party members that you can get in place of the Templar, the Enchantress, and then Scoundrel. I guess he's like an archer, I don't know. So Tyrael is the fallen angel that you find at the beginning of the game, and he tells you what's happening up in heaven. And I think I'm gonna try this out because I was looking up monk builds, and I guess this is like the best thing to use, but I'm not sure. So he gives you like 2 giant chests, and they come with stuff called blood shards, which you can use for this lady. She only takes blood shards, and you can buy you can use blood shards to get a random random legendary weapon, I believe. Or might not be legendary all the time, but and all these books are just for blacksmith stuff. I got another giant. Wow, that's huge. Let's try that out. And then if you want, there's a lady, you can go to this lady and you can you can make all your gear look different and stuff. Honestly, it's kind of a waste if you're constantly changing your gear. But if you want to look fancy, you can go to her and make your equipment look neat. That's all I gotta say about that. And this is the artisan that you can use your, basically level up his ability to use what am I saying? Vitality. Oh, I see. I don't want that then. Required. Resist all. That's lame. I don't. And then if you want, you can. I don't remember if this stuff gets like transported over when you make a new character. I think it's just here to like if you don't want to sell things, I guess. But I'm always selling stuff. That's why I have 3 million gold. Which in hindsight, 3 million gold like doesn't even begin to mean anything because you mostly just get all your equipment from drops. Like I hardly buy equipment, so all the stuff is just from drops, from rewards, and then you spend all your money on repairing. And then if you want, you can do. Whoa, why am I? That's crazy. Okay. I don't know. And then there's another thing called rifts. You can talk to Auric, and he'll talk to you about these extra dimensions you can go into called rifts, and all they really are is you beat it. It's really difficult, but if you beat it, you get a bunch of cool stuff and extra levels and blah blah blah. Yeah, 3 million gold is really good, maybe in the beginning of the game, but seriously, once you get through the game and you, like, especially if you're playing a higher difficulty with better drops, like, you won't really need to buy anything. You just, all your money's for repairing and maybe gems, and if you want to upgrade your stuff. But and it really depends on the the merchant too. Like some of the merchants just have things that have that don't mean anything for your character. Like the stuff with the X in it means you can't use it. So I mean, you're better off just finding stuff off of drops. I don't know. That is just my take on that. Here's another boss called Belial. It's just one of Diablo's main demon boys. See how much damage I end up doing now that I've upgraded my stuff. Yeah, gold ends up being useless in this game, sadly. I mean, unless you really want to spend your money on merchant items, I guess. Like, this is the first, I'll be honest with you, this is like the first game where I found myself not knowing what to do with my money. Like, once in a while you'll come across a merchant with decent things, but then in comparison to how much you have, you end up selling. The amount of equipment you sell in this game is absurd. Like, just useless stuff. Unless you plan on using, like, another class, then I guess that's where you can stash all your unused. I believe you can stash all your stuff that you're not using for another character. Oh, here's the enemies with the arcane magic that hurts a lot, and you pretty much just die if you're not avoiding it. And especially with the monk, like, the monk's not very good when it comes to, like, non-physical damage. Like, one hit off of that laser did 10k to me. Which in retrospect, I have 43,000 health. So, I mean, that's a lot. I have 43,000 health, and one hit off of that laser beam did 10k. Wow, this has a lot of good shit. I will take it. So here's Big Belial, which he pretends to be a kid. He pretends to be the emperor of this area that's a child. And then he turns into his true form. But this is like a 3-phase boss. You have to kill his minions, and then you have to kill him, but then you have to kill him again because he turns into his final form. You know, typical anime bullshit. I haven't fought Belial in a while. It rhymed. So I'm not really sure if I'll be able to deal with him. He also seems fairly resilient. My poetry skills are non-existent, but thank you. I think I'm better at puns than I am with poetry. Really? Okay. Well, he just goes full fuck you mode. I forgot you can roll in this game. I don't even know if what I'm using is good against him right now. Yeah, pretty much unholy crap in general. I feel like I remember trying to fight him in Torment, and it wasn't gonna happen. Oh my god. Oh shit. I remember this being like explosive poison mines.
I don't have enough spirit.
Well, get spirit. I'm not 100% sold on this. Oh my goodness.
I will not do that.
Seems like I'm killing him really fast, but play Minesweeper for a little bit. Oh my goodness. So yeah, this is just like the whole okay, I don't know what's happening here. You have to kill all of Diablo's like Lord of Hells. Oh, Lords of Hell, I mean, not Lord of Hells. I feel like there might be a way to like deal with that part of I don't know. Yeah, once you kill all of them, then you can go fight Diablo. But then you realize, oh shit, Diablo's not the main threat anymore. Diablo is just like a I don't know. I don't even know if Diablo knew he was getting taken, like if he was getting replaced. Shit! Oh, that part's ridiculous. I almost killed him too. I can just resurrect here. I forgot about that. Oh man. Of course. Okay. Well, actually, let me. No. Not really sold Increasing your spirit regeneration. Enabling your melee attacks to an intensity dash. That's... I don't think that's relevant. Let me try that. Isn't really using this either. I don't know if breath increase. Oh, that could be useful. And I guess I'll just wave of light. I'll see if he's weak against holy. I'm not entirely sure if demons react to holy the same way as maybe they would in other games, but maybe, I guess it seems like that's the case. I should have, I guess I should have been using holy damage. They're just kind of like getting incinerated. Makes sense. No. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely taking more damage. I'm not sold on Breath of Heaven. And I'm not sold on Seven-Sided Strike. I guess you can't kill him. You just go straight into third phase. Okay, yeah, he's taking up way more damage. But I'm not. All I need to do is watch out for that silly temper tantrum he has. Not this one. Though that is kind of a temper tantrum. Okay. This is a little silly. And I guess it becomes more intense the lower his health becomes.
I need spirit.
You need spirit? Why? Yeah. I'm taking a bunch of damage. What? Yeah, I guess Seven-Sided Strike, it was useful. It got rid of his minions really fast. Okay. Lots of that going on. It kind of becomes a mini game of dodge the. Dodge the crab. What in the world? There we go. Whoa. For this season in particular, I feel like the drops have been super lackluster. Thanks. I don't know why I didn't use Holy to begin with. I guess it just didn't dawn on me that you should be using Holy against demons. Who would have thought? Wow, that's way better. Some of the stuff is like hit or miss, but I feel like if you're looking for really good, like rare and legendary equipment, this season is not it for that. It's more about the value. I feel it's all about value now. Excuse me. Oh. Although I love the helmet, this little piece of jewelry thingy is a lot better. Yeah, so that's an example of you can't always use the same stuff. Which is like there's skills that you need to switch to if you're fighting a boss, and then if you're fighting like large groups of enemies, there's skills for that. So it all varies. This is a But hey, I am getting kind of tired, so I'm actually gonna hop off. Normally I'd play this for a while, but I'm just getting super sleepy. Alright, thanks for joining. I'll talk to you later.